Hey guys, welcome back. Here we are in week 6 of online learning. Gosh, this is so weird, right? But we're still doing the best we can. We're still having fun, and we're still going to continue this birthday bash. All right, so follow along with me. Here we go. Peter, my mother said, let's start the games. Now, quick. I checked the time. I hoped the party was almost over, but no, it was only 1:30. Still an hour to go. Oh, I went into my room where I'd blown up a lot of balloons. My mother had a party book and it says 3-year-olds like to dance around balloons. It's true. When I got back to the living room, Mom started the record player and I handed each kid a balloon. But they just stood there and looking at me. I thought, either the guy who wrote the party book is crazy or I am. Show them how, Peter. Take a balloon and demonstrate. I felt like the world's greatest fool dancing around with a balloon, but hey, it worked. As soon as the kids saw me doing it, they all started dancing too. Woo! And the more they danced, the more they liked it. Until Jenny's balloon popped. And that literally scared Sam right out of his mind. He started yelling and crying. But fortunately, I'd blown up dozens of balloons. So I hope they danced the rest of the afternoon. Fudge got the idea of jumping up and down on the furniture. The others liked that too. So instead of dancing with their balloons, that's what they did. And soon they were running from room to room, yelling and laughing and having a great time. Then the doorbell rang. It was Mrs. Rudder. She lives in the apartment right under us. She wanted to know what was going on. She said it sounded like her ceiling was about to crash any second. My mother explained that Fudge was having a little birthday party and wouldn't she like to stay for a piece of cake? Sometimes my mother is really clever, so Grandma entertained Mrs. Ruther in the kitchen while Fudge and his buddies jumped up and down on his bed. It was delivered this morning. Fudge hasn't even slept in it yet, so naturally, when my mother found out when they were up to, she's like, "Stop it right now!" "New bed, big boy," Fudge said. Was he proud. "You won't have a big bed for long if you don't stop jumping on it. I know." My mother selected a picture from Fudge's bookshelf. "I heard of that one," Jenny said when she saw a cover of a book. "All right," my mother said, "let's hear this one." She held up another book. "I heard that one too." I think my mother was starting to lose her patience, but she chose a third book and said, "We'll all enjoy this one if we know it by heart. And if we do, and if and if we do it by heart, well, we'll say it together." And that's just what Jenny did. And when my mother skipped a page by mistake, Jenny was right there to remind her. If you ask me, my mother felt like biting Jenny that time. When the story was over, it was 2 o'clock, and Ralph was sound asleep on the floor. My mother told me to put him up in the Fudge's new bed while she took the rest of the children back to the living room. I tried and I tried, but I could not lift Ralph. He must have weighed a ton. On my way back to the living room, I wished the others would fall asleep too. "Peter," my mother suggested, "why don't you show them Dribble?" "Mom, Dribble's my pet. You don't go around using pets to entertain a bunch of kids. Didn't my mother know that?" Peter, we still got an hour and a half left, and I don't know what to do." "Dribble, Fudge, Fudge, holler, dribble, 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 dribble." I guess Sam and Jenny liked the way that sounded because they said the same thing. "Dribble, dribble, dribble." "Oh, all right. I'll show you Dribble. You gotta promise to be very quiet. You mustn't make a sound. You might scare him." They all said, "Okay." My mother went into the kitchen to chat with Grandma. I put Dribble on a table, and Fudge and Sam and Jenny stood over his bowl. "Oh, turtle!" Jenny said. "Yes, Dribble's a turtle. He's my turtle," I said in a voice. "See," Fudge whispered. "They all can see," I told Fudge. "Thanks, turtle." I wonder why he wasn't afraid of me this time. What does Dribble do? He doesn't do anything. He's a turtle. He does turtle things. "Like what?" "Well, he swims around, I guess. He sleeps on a rock. He eats." "Does he make?" "Make what?" "Make tinkle." "Yeah, that, I guess. I don't know." Jenny laughed. So did Sam and Fudge. I make tinkles too. You want to see?" No, I said. See, Fudge laughed, pointing at Jenny, and Jenny had a big smile on her face. Next thing I know, there was a puddle on the rug. "Mom, come quick!" My mother dashed into the kitchen. "What is it?" "Look what Jenny did." "What is that?" She eyed the puddle. "She made it on the floor, and she did it on purpose." "Jenny, you didn't." "I did too." "That was so naughty. You come with me." And she scooped Jenny up and carried her into the bathroom. After that, my mom mopped up the puddle. Finally, the doorbell rang. It was 2:30. The party was over. I could hardly believe it. I was beginning to think it would never end. First, Ralph's mother came. She had to wake him up and get him out of the apartment. I guess even she couldn't carry him. Next, Jenny's mother came. Mom gave her Jenny wet pants and a baggie. That was all she could do. Jenny's mother was really embarrassed. Sam's mother came last, but he didn't want to go home. Now that he was used to us, he liked us. He cried, "More party!" Another time, my mom said. My mother flopped down in the chair. Grandma brought her 2 aspirins and a glass of water. "Here, dear, maybe these will help." My mother swallowed the pills and she held her head. 3 is kind of young for a party. "Peter Warren Hatcher," my mother began. "Yes." "You were absolutely right." I flopped down next to my mother. She put her arm around me, and we both watched Fudge work on his new Jack-in-the-Box. Later, when my father came home, he said, "How did Fudge's parties go?" My mother and I looked at each other, and we just both laughed. All right, that's the end of that chapter. Go ahead and answer the questions on this one, and I'll see you guys in chapter 6.